anything even up to a Clydesdale. So by trying to do that and making it fit all those animals, it was quite a thing we did. We designed the saddle in 1988, and I'd call it the Phillips Formfitter. The Phillips Formfitter, this is the skirt and how it looks right here. What we did, we took a Western saddle, we took the horn off and we took the seat off. So if you look underneath that, it looks just like a Western saddle. But the thing about this particular unit is that we use the same bars that were in a Western saddle. You see, a sawbuck or a decker or a boat-shaped, some type of a boat-shaped hardwood type bar that fits in the back of the animal. We wanted to change that and have something that fit better. Because when you take a Western saddle off of a horse, you have a full sweat spot. You take a pack saddle off of a horse or a mule, you have maybe 12, 15 inches long at the most, maybe 5 inches thick. The distribution of weight from a Western saddle to a pack saddle is just apparent by the way it fits on the animal. So when we took the horn off, we took the seat off, we used the same bar, that's this bar right here, on each side as a Western saddle. It comes up on the wethers and comes flat on the rump, just like a Western saddle. And then we took this saddle so we can make it go up like that to fit a high weather horse, or flat like that. We can go from a Clydesdale to a burro with this saddle. And the animal goes down the hill. The problem with a sawbuck or a decker is that it flops like that. That saddle flops back and forth. When I made the Formfitter, I decided to make this a little bit different. So when this comes, I'll put it up here on my shoulder, when you're going downhill on the front shoulder, right front shoulder drops and comes back up, instead of this saddle going back and forth, this saddle moves like that. So we can actually move that saddle front and back, sideways, and as the shoulders move, especially on a mule. A mule has a problem, front wheel drive. Lifts, pulls its feet going forward, up a hill, holds going down a hill. With this, as that animal moves, that moves with it. One of the things we do with the saddle also is I built this saddle for the animal. I didn't build it for human beings. Sawbucks come into the Americas in about 1530, something like that, out of conquistadors out of Mexico. The decker was made in the 1930s. Nothing's happened since then. Both of those saddles are pretty much solid systems. When I did this, it flucks, it moves, and completely stays with the animal. If you have an animal that you flower fitted, maybe at home, put a saddle on with a flower fitting, you get to the hills, they lose weight. They gan up in the gut, and when they do that, they lose water. Well, if you lose water on the gut, you lose as much water on the wethers. So whatever you did at home, 2 days after you're in the hills packing, the conformation of that animal changed. This saddle changes with it. Sawbucks and deckers don't. That's why this saddle makes it pretty nice. If you're pulling out of the way here, if you look how we've done the rest of the saddle, we have a half breed that goes over top of it completely. We have a breeching that goes out the back, the same as anybody else. Our breeching's a little bit different. I'm going to grab one right here. We take this breeching. This is the breeching that's going around the back of the animal. And on the end, we'll zoom up right here and take a look at this, how this is put together. This is one piece of shap leather, and we fold it to the center, right square to the center. So the edge of it is rolled over. There's no rivets throughout, none whatsoever to catch. We don't take the leather and wrap it over top of the end. We wrap it up, bring it back, so there's an actual bead of leather to help protect that animal's rump and hair across his back. We also put a ring here where the breeching comes down. This begins the breeching on this one, where the breeching comes down from the back here on top of the butt plate down to here. We put a ring so this can move back and forth. By doing that, that makes that whole breeching go around, and we're not chaffing that hair near as much. The one thing I did for humans on this saddle is that we put roller buckles. There are no Conways. We don't build Conways. But the roller buckle creates a little bit of a problem because with the tail hair catches on the buckle tongue. So we put a little shiny thing right over top of that, and what that is a cover that goes over top of a roller buckle. There's a roller buckle underneath that. That goes inside there, comes on top of here. Now we have a complete buckle that goes over top of the tongue so we don't catch any hair. We also on the saddle put quarter straps. Not just one coming off of this breeching, but we have two. This one will come down and hook onto the cinch. Once the cinch comes around underneath, this one hooks on here. So you have three pulls. You have a pull from the top, you have a pull from the saddle here, and you have a pull from the cinch. So you're pulling that whole saddle at more distributed weight across there. The one other thing we did to this saddle is we put a header ring. This is the butt plate. The header ring is a ring that's put right in the back of this butt plate, and it sits right there. So as you're pulling another animal, you take your lead rope, go through this ring right here called a header ring, go through that ring to your breakaway. Now what that does is stops the animal from heading, and it keeps the rope up on top of his rump so it's not falling around his legs. You do not tie to it, you tie through it. That goes all the way through it. Our breast collar is the same as our breeching. The same roll the same way and everything. But on the one side over here, on the side you're working, we put a little bit different end on here. Normally you see this snap turned over, so you snap it down. Well, we turned it backwards. We made it out of steel and not alloy. We also put a keeper on here so that buckle doesn't come up over top and right and hit the shoulder of the animal. And then the whole thing stays in place. We put quarter straps on the front, so we have two and not one on the front of that. Again, the breast collar is completely done with rolled leather all the way through, all the way to the top, to the center, not to the edges. We have a full roll on all that leather. The half breed that comes with it is a board that comes all the way through the side. It's routed on both sides and tapered here on each end so you're not catching things. The half breed's also padded from here down. So you have a complete padding in that thing. If you have any questions, maybe you want to have some help on the Formfitter, just contact one of our agents and they'll help you any way we can. Just give us a call or just ask one of the agents here.